Should Melly's mom be doing interviews right now with the murder trial being right around the corner, like literally like 7 months away? I'm asking a real question because in her position being Melly's mother, you would think that she wouldn't have too much to say publicly and she would practice silence during a time like this. For one, simply because it's an open case still. And two, your name came up a few times during court and in these documents. And it's been speculated that you might have been the person that Melly called right after the murder. So to see a person in her position, I think it's best if she just be quiet because nothing you say is gonna sound right. If we're being real, everything that you say is gonna sound crazy. It's gonna sound stupid, and it's only gonna further just piss people off. People who look at this case and all the evidence point towards Melly and feel in their heart that he might have murdered these two dudes, Sack and Juvie. People like the family. One person in particular, Juvie's father, Spoon, is like Juvie's father, and I'm gonna touch on him later because he gave his take on this too. He debunked a lot of stuff that she said in this interview, and I'm gonna touch on that. But before we get into that, I'm gonna just break down this 40-minute interview and let y'all listen to Melly's mom, Jamie, because this interview came out like 2 or 3 days ago, and it's starting to grow legs now. And it, man, it's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. We gonna get into it, but before we get into it, man, make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment down below. It's T-RaeTv, and over here, I don't give no lies or spin narratives. I just say what I feel. Let's go. Jamie did a sit-down interview with a YouTuber named Taty Talks. I don't know much about this girl, but it seemed like, her channel it's a new channel. She only got like 160 subs. She got 10 videos who look like she might have did an interview with Smiley from Baddies and broke that down into parts. So I really don't know much about this girl, and seeing that she's new, that's probably why ain't nobody really talking about this interview like that because it's been out for a few days. And I really didn't know about the video until I saw Spoon, Juvie's father, kind of like debunking a lot of the stuff that she said to Taty, and I was like, let me just check this out. And I'm saying her name right, I'm gonna be honest, she not the best interviewer, but Jamie ain't the best interviewee either. If I'm saying that right, if that's even a phrase. And they basically started the interview off with her giving Jamie the floor to absolutely say nothing. Nothing that made sense whatsoever because, lady, don't nobody want to hear about your upbringing. We want to hear about this murder.
We have like a lot to get into actually. I really wanted to start off with knowing a little bit about you, what you're currently up to, like what you do on a regular, how your life is.
So currently right now, as lots of people know, I'm still a nurse. So I'm working as a travel nurse. So I'm on a travel contract actually on the west coast of Florida right now. So I'm doing that. And then I, commute back and forth. So when I'm off for a few days, I come back home to Miami, which I love, and, spend time with B Slime and my daughter Jewel, who's also a nurse. And then I'm also working on my project as well. I got a show coming out. So super excited about that. It's a reality show. And then, basically I be chilling.
So what are you going to be doing in this reality show? So it's just, are they going to be following you around like on a regular basis?
So I actually created the show and helped pick the cast and everything. It's me and my friends. It's called The Real Boss Moms. So it's basically just a bunch of boss women that are, just running things, got their own businesses, got different things going on. Two of us are like, our kids are big rappers in the industry, but we didn't want it to just be focused on so much of like moms that are, mothers of rappers. It's just moms that are actually bosses, that are actually handling business. So it's going to be a dope, reality show.
I don't know about her being a nurse, and I think she was working the night. She got the call from Melly when she stormed off her job and ran to his rescue. And let me make it clear, I'm not just saying that trying to put this off on a woman like I'm trying to spin a narrative or anything like that. What I'm saying is documented, is in the paperwork. Y'all can go research that. Y'all can go look that up. She played a major role in covering some of this stuff up. If you ask me, like starting from the night it happened. I'm just being real. And part of me feel like maybe she probably did this interview too because she got a reality show, because that was new information to me. I didn't know nothing about that. And if I'm being real, you can't necessarily just knock that. She just trying to keep the money in rotation when you think about it, because if Melly wasn't involved in all this stuff, it ain't no telling where she would be as a rap mom. I gotta just be real on that, in the industry. So that's not uncommon for her to, try to go get a TV bag now that all this is going on. But I want to know who the other mother is. That's interesting. Like, who y'all think the other mother is? Because that kind of stood out to me, because she said it's another big rapper. So y'all leave a comment down below and let me know who y'all think she might be talking about in that part right there. This interview is 46 minutes and 26 seconds long. And like I said earlier, the interviewer ain't the best, but she did ask some good questions as far as, Jamie's upbringing went. And this part of me, again, I feel like nobody really just care about. See, Jamie keep coming off as if Melly is a victim. But I think in today's time, a lot of people are starting to think, based off of evidence and shit that was said in court, regardless of how it turned out. Man, people think that this man might have murdered his two friends. I'm not saying Jamie is wrong for being in her son's corner, but sometimes it ain't what you say or what you do, it's how you say it and how you do it. And how she going about this, trying to paint Melly as if he's the victim, is crazy.
Very respectful. Even now, if you talk to him, super respectful kid. But yeah, he had a goal, he had a dream. He used to always say, like, I'm gonna be a millionaire before I'm 18. Oh, okay.
So when did the fame kick in for him? Like, how old was he?
He was probably 15. He was, and I didn't notice. Because, when you're a mom, like, that's just my kid. Like, and I'm like, his friends be like, oh yeah, Melly got this song. And it was like on SoundCloud. So he was one of those, as you call, SoundCloud rappers. Yeah. So he had a SoundCloud and he was dropping music on SoundCloud.
She want the world to think that he's a saint. She want the world to look at Melly and feel compassion, like they just come from this hard upbringing and this struggle. And I'm here to tell you, times has changed, Jamie. This stuff happened like 8 years ago, and a lot of his fans, if we being real, they grown now. They grown. And motherfuckers looking at this situation and all the facts, and they like, damn, the music and how talented he is. This boy low-key a monster. All you gotta do is just scroll the comments and look, especially on YouTube. TikTok not as much. Sometimes I see little certain things on there, but it's weird over there. But people with common sense over here, they scratching their head like, I don't know, this boy look guilty.
And it was like really starting to go crazy. That one song that everyone was playing was 772 Love. And I'm like, this is my kid? Like, what?
Did you like the music he was making?
Yeah, it was actually good.
Did you listen to it?
Yeah.
Or did you hear it and it was like, oh, this sounds good?
No, I actually listened to his music. Really listened to his music. And then I supported him. I remember I didn't understand at first, like, why do you need $40 every day? I'm thinking this was
studio
something
sessions.
It was studio sessions. It was literally $40. I need to go to the studio. $40. I'm like, you $40 me to death.
Yeah. But that's crazy.
That's what he was doing. He was in there making music, and it really blew. And I just originally, when I realized he was actually famous, especially in our city, I tried to Facebook request him, and he couldn't receive no more Facebook.
Hey, this interview, I swear, this shit boring, man. This interview so goddamn boring, and it's just long for no reason whatsoever. It literally took me like a day to get through this because it's just dumb. She talking a lot of shit that nobody care about, and she want a pity party, and what you looking for later, it just ain't gonna happen. I don't know what she thought was gonna come from this, but in all honesty, I feel like this probably was the wildest thing that Jamie done did so far, because the timing on this is so bad, and then it's obvious that you keep making it clear you can't speak on a lot of stuff, and it's like you can't speak on certain things because, lady, what you gonna do besides lie? You gonna tell the truth, and if you tell the truth, then that means you gotta admit to some of the things that were said about you in the paperwork. That's just my opinion. So, she should just really just shut her mouth on everything going on with Melly. This is your son, so you shouldn't want to talk to nobody publicly about nothing going on right now. And it's too late. 7 or 8 years later, with everything that's been going on, I think we all can agree that the last thing that people care about is how Melly was when he was a kid in school.
To 15, to like when the fame began, how was he in school? Like, did he ever like get in trouble? Did
he never really liked school. He just did.
Yeah,
he just did, and
I don't think anybody does.
He didn't like it.
But
like he would get in trouble for like little stupid stuff or whatever, but never like nothing too crazy until how old was at 16 when he made the news. I was like, he went from like 0 to like 100 and like
very quickly.
Very quickly.
Was it after the fame began?
Yeah, because with the fame, clearly it brought jealousy, it brought haters and stuff, and he had issues with these other guys, and if people don't know, Melly is tiny like me. He's little, and it just escalated really quickly. Like, and next thing I know, my kid is on the news for shooting, and it was just like, what?
Are you referring to the shooting that happened outside of like near high school?
It was by the high school, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like a group of people?
It was a group of people. It was like outside of a high school, and they already was in this group of people. They were like already like known for being in trouble, in and out of juvie, all of that kind of stuff. So this was his like, first time getting in trouble, and like him having to like go to juvie and stuff like that. It was a lot. He just has the biggest heart. Anything they would ask for, he would give it to them. Anything they needed, anything I needed, it was just like no questions asked.
So how was the difference in the money when he became, when the fame started kicking in and he started like getting money from it?
So when the fame started kicking in, he started getting money from it. Me personally, I didn't notice it because I always had my own money. You know what I'm saying? So I really didn't care. I just wanted him to be happy. It was times that I told him, anytime that this life is too overwhelming or if it's too much, you can always quit, because it was a lot of stress on him. Melly took all his friends with him from the hood, which I felt like was not a good decision, because you're only 18, you're trying to build your career, you have this group, you guys are all trying to accomplish something, but right now Melly's the star, So it's like he needed to get fully on. Everything was so brand new. And he got the house in Miramar, you got like 8-9 people, and you're paying for everything for everybody. And he does, he totally didn't care. He did it selflessly because he's like, no, they're my friends. Like, I don't want them in the hood. I want them to be with me. I want them to live this lifestyle with me.
Pay attention to what Jamie just did. I'm finna paint a picture for y'all. The interviewer asked her one simple question. The only thing she did was say, how was Melly in school? That's it. You see how Jamie somewhere gave a timestamp on when Melly started to become a bad kid? around 16 years old. So think about the backstory of Melly and all the documentaries and stuff that you done heard over the years, and how old he was when he first got in trouble and why. Melly was in the same street hanging with these same people he allegedly murdered. What you saying, Trey? She painted this narrative that Melly was this little innocent kid who didn't mean his friend no harm whatsoever, and all he wanted to do was make music, change his family life and his friends. He was on track of doing it until fame came, and that's when his friends started hating on him, and next thing you know, he was on the news. Man, this lady wild, man. Y'all, hey, just go check out that interview because it's crazy, and I'm gonna be real. Like I said, it's boring and is a little too long. It should have just been 20-minute tops, but it's interesting. It's interesting. Right here is when Jamie started beating around the bush a lot. Once the serious questions started to pop up and this girl started asking her about Melly, this Taty lady, you see her start to say things like, I can't answer that. I can't answer that. Or it's still an open case and stuff like. But my thing is, if you knew all that before you got on this platform, what brought you here? See, Taty, I think, this is me. She wanted to know more about the murders of Sack and Juvie. And she tried to ask us some real questions, but as you can see, or if you go check the video out, Jamie ducked and dodged a whole lot. And anytime she would give a response, it was either surface level or she talked about Melly in a way as if he didn't do no wrong, as if he was a saint. And how he did so much for Sack and Juvie, like basically saying he did a lot for him. Like, y'all check this out.
So prior to that happening, the friends that passed away, did you know them?
Yeah, I knew all his friends.
So everybody, pretty much, okay, so there were 4 of them in the car, right, that night?
I can't speak on that.
Okay, so the video, there's like a video.
Yeah, that one video.
Of them coming out the studio?
Yeah.
Right. So that video of whoever is together getting in the car, you know, that situation. Okay, actually, I want to start with this. How was his relationship with his friends? The ones specifically that
they were his best friends. He took them everywhere with him. He did everything for them.
And are those the friends that are included in the people you were saying? Like he took
in the YNW? Yeah, he took them with him. They lived in the house with him. He took them everywhere with him. He made sure they were good.
Yeah,
like, he took care of them. Like those are his besties. They were his ride or dies. Like that was his crew.
Why in the hell are you sitting in front of this lady? Because who care what you got going on again if it ain't pertaining to Melly? I said this interview was dumb as hell because what can she do besides tell the truth and tiptoe or play crazy, you know, like some form of, you know, in denial shit when everybody know what the court documents say? We all know. And, you know, forgive me for saying it, but I ain't gonna lie, these people gotta be like slow a little bit. Like Juvie father be saying in videos. I ain't trying to be fucked up, but, and I'm gonna get to him in a minute. It just don't make no sense whatsoever. Like you can't speak on the situation or nothing going on about it, then what you here for? I'm saying, like, gee, we barely know you. We know your son. We don't just know you like that. Nobody just checking for you unless you just say some crazy shit like you saying now, but it's just another form of clout chasing. And it's bad timing. And she want to promote a show on Hulu, so wasn't the platform to do it. Hell, this video, shit, at the time of me making this, it hadn't even hit 1,000 views yet. So I'm really confused on why this lady in front of this camera right now. Like, what's the whole purpose of this sit-down interview?
So, okay. I'll say what I heard, what I seen. and you just tell me if you believe this or not, being the case. Because I don't know what you can and cannot speak on specifically.
I don't speak on much when it comes to it because it's an open case. And
Yeah, exactly.
I have I'm still under investigation too. So there's very minimum, and there's very minimum I can speak on when it does come to that situation. And so that's another reason why you don't ever see me really doing interviews and podcasts and everything. So yeah.
And that's really your best bet to not ever do one ever again after this one, man. It kind of like pissing me off low key because when you good at reading people, you see bullshit from a mile away. Jamie is a bullshitter. Some people would consider, what she doing on the street side or from a street point of view as loyalty, like she holding her son down in this situation. And y'all can have that one, whoever think like that. But to me, when I look at this to me is some demonic shit. That's just me because how can you look at this Taty girl straight in the face and just, with a smile of confidence when you know that everything that's coming out of your mouth is it's just false?
So, okay, I'll ask you certain questions. Whatever you cannot answer, just tell me you can answer it. But from what I've seen, what they're stating so far is they have a video of them all coming out of the studio, getting into a vehicle together. We all seen that.
Yeah.
And then they're saying that, and then there's another video of them pulling up to the hospital after the shooting occurred.
Melly wasn't involved in that.
The pulling up to the hospital.
Yeah, he was.
And getting out the car.
Yeah, he was never involved in that.
My thing is this: when you say he wasn't involved, what you mean? Because he wasn't in the car when they made it to the hospital. That's already been proven. Dumbass Bortland took all the risk in the world, and he was the one that drove the body. So, what you mean when he said he wasn't involved in it? And she said it strong too. This interview, man, it just ain't what's up. Because it's going to further piss people off because, lady, we saw the court documents. And we saw the text. We saw the cell phone tower pinging phones, the threats towards Mariah and her mom allegedly from what Felicia told Detective Moretti. So if Melly wasn't nowhere around or wasn't, quote, involved, he sure got a lot of fingers and arrows pointed at him his way. And God bless this poor interviewer because she trying, she finna start scrambling and scraping over a few words like a motherfucker because it's hard to do this type of interview with a person involved in a murder case. Which, like I keep saying, Jamie's stupid for doing it, but when you're in a position of an interviewer, you're not gonna just get the answer to questions that you think. And I wish somebody would have told her that before she decided to do this, but you ain't finna get nothing but some bullshit out of this.
They're accusing him of the crime. They're trying to, but
it's been 7 years and they've yet to prove it.
It's been a long time.
If it was that, I've never seen, if you got proof and you got evidence and you really think that he did this, why is it taking 7 years and the trial just got pushed back again? So
why do you think that they keep doing that too?
Because they came out with a theory, and that's just what they're running with.
The theory that the shooting occurred from inside the car as opposed to it being a drive-by shooting.
Well, then when you have the ballistics come out, he said that he couldn't tell because they don't have a weapon, so you don't know.
There it is. Who that sound like, y'all? Just think about it. Don't that sound like a 100K track? See, it's been 8 years, and what's taking them so long is that they got so much evidence piled up, lady, on y'all, That's what taking so long. Like, do I gotta kind of like break down the list of bullshit that's been happening and the reason why this case is knocking on 10 years with no fucking conviction? See, whatever Melly is going through right now, to me, this is how I look at it. It's still his own karma from the stuff that even the stuff that y'all doing right now. It's still his own karma what he's suffering from in jail right now. Think about it. Because everything that y'all doing outside to dirty the waters, thinking that this case is close to being closed and being over, and they ain't really got no evidence. Like all the stuff that Melly is going through in jail while he gotta sit and wait, he's suffering from his own karma, which y'all steady doing to make things harder in this situation. When so many people or so much evidence where it's like, man, come on. Let's hate it had to be him. Hate he did it. Hate he was dumb like that. But lady, some people would say that he's being treated bad in these conditions that he's going through in jail. And my response to that would be, imagine what it feel like to get your brains blown out while you sleep in a car with somebody that, even though y'all ain't seeing eye to eye right now over some pet ass paper, this still your mans. You fuck with him. You trust him. And he just blow your brains out. It don't get no more like fucked up than that for me. That's why it's hard for me to say free this man or just try to kind of like justify anything that this lady is saying, because when you look at the facts, man, at one point I played the go along, get along game, but I'm in too deep now in this content just to go for bullshit, man. And I just want to encourage anybody watching this video to go check out my series on Melly. I got over 30 videos breaking down all the key details in this case. And once you watch my series and come back, let me know what you find out and who got rid of the murder weapon, alleged. Now, she's saying Melly was willing to turn himself in a few months later after the murders of Sack and Juvie. He wasn't on the run. He had no warrants. But lady, the streets was talking. And I think that's kind of like a little wrong too. I'm gonna play. Y'all will see. But half of Florida was thinking that he might have did it. Melly was getting a lot of threats from these boys' family members. And he also was on the edge because he knew how loyal Bortland was. So he felt like it was up to him to take care of him for life because he did, quote, the realest shit ever.
Well, he didn't get picked up. Let me fix that right there. Yeah. He turned himself in.
Okay. How did that happen? How did that come about?
So he had Brad Cohen at the time, who's awesome. So I guess they notified Brad that they were gonna like issue a warrant or something for him. And he's like, no, we'll turn. He's like, I don't have nothing to run for or hide. So he willingly went and turned himself in. Nobody had to pick him up. No, they didn't send cops or, he wasn't arrested. He actually took himself to the jail. Well, I drove him to the jail. I went with him and everything, and I prayed with him and turned himself in. Now, at that time, we did not know that he was being charged. They said they wanted to talk to him for questioning because he hadn't been questioned ever. So we thought he was being questioned, and then
not taken into custody.
Yeah. Then the next morning they arraigned him, and I seen it on the the video thing of him being arraigned and being charged with that, and I literally
now we finna turn it up another notch. Then when we finna go up some more. Y'all might want to hit your blunt. If you smoke cigarettes, hit your cigarette, your vape, shot of whiskey, whatever your vice is, because it's finna get wild. Like, hear me out. This lady asked Jamie, how was she with the family after the murders. Like basically the relationship. Like how was it with you and Sack and Juvie's, people and stuff after everything? And I want y'all to listen real close because Spoon saw this interview. I told y'all earlier, that's how I kind of ended up seeing it because he did a response video to it. That's Juvie's father. And I feel like this part right here is a perfect example of what I said earlier. When you start doing these type of interviews and you full of shit, all you gonna do is piss people off, especially people that's tied to this. Check this out, man.
Like when the situation, how did you feel leading up to the moment actually? Like, when the incident occurred and in between that time, how was he behaving? How was he acting? How did he feel?
We were right
about
there for the
his
families,
friends?
like taking care of the families. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
because I know them. Like, I was friends with the mom, with Juvie's mom and aunt and everything. Like, I didn't really know much about, Zach Trader's family that much because he's not from here. He's like from Atlanta or something. Like, I didn't really know much about his side of the family, but Juvie's family, we actually all lived in the same projects together, like when I was young. And so I've known them a long time. So I was right there. And then, everything just got crazy. And now everybody hates me. Everybody hates my kid. It is what it is.
Do you think that so in between that time prior to him actually being like arraigned on these charges, you guys were cool with the families up until that point?
Even after
After
he
he
got
was in-
arrested, like there was like, he didn't do this. There's no way that he did this, and now once lawsuits and things get involved, then everybody.
Now, let me put my disclaimer in here because I don't have no dog in this fight. I'm not advocating for the victim's family. I just do content and I like calling stuff how I see it. I just like calling a spade a spade. I'm not accusing nobody or nothing. And I like going off facts. I gotta say that and get that out the way because I'm about to go left, man. I think this lady slow as hell. And she easy to be manipulated in real life for the right price and the right amount of attention. The stuff that she say don't even sound like her own words sometimes. It's like she being pushed to say certain shit. And that's what make it so fucked up for me because you probably deep down in your heart got some form of compassion or some form of empathy for this shit, but you got to play this role all the way to the T, to the point where you just sound stupid. She just basically just said that she was cool with these boys' family after they got murdered, and it wasn't no issues with her and the family whatsoever until lawsuits got involved and people started having, I guess, beef with her and pointing the finger at Melly. I really can't just do nothing but shake my head on that and play this video that I'm about to play because after hearing that batch of fuckery, I understand 1000% why Juvie's father reaction to this interview was the way that it was. Y'all check this out.
And she talking about that the family of the victims, Juvie family, never ever even pointed the finger at Melly until the lawsuit was filed. That is a lie. I could go back on my Facebook page months before it happened. Even the day after it happened, I was saying from October 26th up until now that Melly did that shit. I even posted a picture of the movie Juice when it first happened. The next morning, I posted a picture of the Juice with Omar Epps, Tupac, and Raheem and Steele, all them boys from Juice. And I said, watch, this shit gonna play out just like this. Because I knew then that Melly shot his friends. So whatever she's saying is a fucking lie. We knew from day one, at least I knew, and I was screaming that shit from the rooftop.
And there it is. See, I knew that. I just want y'all to hear from his mouth because literally like a day after this stuff broke, the murders of Sack and Juvie, a lot of people in that town already thought from the jump that Melly did this. Only thing you gotta do is go back and look at them old Facebook posts and stuff. You go pull that stuff on Reddit if you dig deep enough. You can find it. And you will see it was so much back and forth going on where a lot of people from both sides of the family were giving Jamie a hard time. And they were threatening Melly. Like Melly was getting threats. He was scared for his life. So when she say he turned himself in because he ain't have nothing to hide, it's easy to say that. Why? Because at the time when y'all took him down there, shit, from y'all point of view and what was going on in the situation, motherfuckers thought that they hadn't tied all the loose ends on the streets where it wasn't gonna be no legal consequences. Like, think about what I'm saying. Think about what I'm saying. And y'all thought that they didn't have nothing on Melly. So this is your thought process, or this is how you felt at the time, but the whole time they was building a case on this man, and you had people working hard going against Melly. People like Felicia Holmes, Mariah Hampton, they started working with the police. So again, this lady sound crazy than a motherfucker, man.
Now, what did Melly do for them boys? Name one thing, you liar. What did he do for Chris? He ain't never do a damn thing for Chris, and Chris never lived in Miramar. He had a fucking room down there, but everybody know that he still lived in Gifford with his mom, 2 hours away, that he always came back and forth. So stop the bullshit, and he ain't never did shit for them boys. I was still had the Western Union Chris money, even when he was on tour with Melly. Melly had them boys performing and doing all that shit, and he never paid them a dime. That's the reason Jay Green got mad in Atlanta and never fucked with them again, because Melly was trying to spoon feed them niggas, bird feed them. And that's exactly what happened. Sack used to get mad. Them niggas wasn't making no motherfucking
Boom did
money.
his breakdown of this interview, man, and gave his take. Y'all go check out his video. And I just say this, what's crazy to me is while I was writing this video, I didn't listen to a lot of Spoon video. I just listened to bits and pieces of it. And I went straight to the original video, the interview, and started doing my own journalism because I wanted to give my own raw and uncut take on what this lady was saying and watch the interview and give my own perspective. But after hearing what he said and just putting my own thoughts together, I just find it crazy, man, how this dude went far off from just what I felt. And that kind of let me know, like, just as a journalist trying to, be up and coming with this shit, this some real shit, just doing my videos, I be on the right track. Like I said in the beginning, I don't be on here spinning no narrative. I just keep it real, give it how I see it, straight down the middle. And if you and I lean a lot towards how the facts first, and then me being a person of compassion, just like tired of this dumb shit going on with these young motherfuckers because I'm an older guy. Like, damn, I be like trying to tap into how the family feel because I feel like we be so quick as fans. Like I done said in a lot of my videos on this series to say free this person, free that person, but we never care about how the family feel. And when you sit up here and you see this lady do this interview and just sit up here and just act like Melly is a saint, or just act like this nigga ain't never did no wrong. It might have been a point of time in his life where he was a good dude, but we ain't talking about that later. Don't nobody care about that. This lady interviewing you want to know what the fuck going on now, but you can't speak on it for so many reasons. You can't.
He loved them so much till he shot them dead while they were asleep, leaving the studio. That's how much he loved them, and they was so much his best friend that he caught both of them sleeping and shot them on the back of Alligator Alley, and then tried to make it a drive-by. That's what this guy did.
And I just feel like, you just have to put yourself in the family shoes sometimes because, until you lost somebody to some bullshit like this or been in this position, it really nothing else that you can say. All you can do is listen and understand. Not be biased. Not be so quick to scream free a motherfucker. Like, man, these are real human beings at the end of the day. Like I said, I get Jamie wanting to be a voice for her son and advocate for her son in his defense, but that still don't change the fact that the facts are the facts, lady. So it's just best that you not say nothing at all, then open your mouth and say a bunch of bullshit.
Melly was involved in that. He had called Fredo Bang to come pick him up after he convinced dumbass Cortland to drive 2 dead bodies to the hospital, which he arrived 45 minutes after they was deceased. And Melly, went and got picked up, was hiding in the bushes. That's when he made the phone call to the mother of his ex-girlfriend, and Melly set up this whole play. She know what the fuck going on. She's sitting here playing stupid, but we all know Melly sent him to the hospital after he shot Chris and Sat.
When we go pull up this shit on Broward County's website and look at everything that's piled up on your son, there's no way in the hell this interview right here or nothing that you done said, Track done said, Felicia Holmes, how nothing that y'all did or nothing that y'all said is gonna make sense compared to how this shit started versus compared to how it is now and how it's turning out now. People started getting paid, people started getting threatened, and motherfuckers started getting scared. But all this that you doing, I just feel like if I had a person in Melly's shoes, if I was in Melly's position, man, I would advise my mama some type of way, the best way I could, but he can't because he ain't talked to his mama in 3 or 4 years. But somebody need to tell this lady to please shut the hell up. Get off the internet. Period. Get offline. And like I say, a lot of this stuff right here, see, the universe work like a motherfucker. This just a sidebar, and I'm finna close. See, people be thinking that God be working in their favor, but just look at everything that Melly going through. Like I said earlier in my video, he didn't even show up to his last hymn. Don't nobody know why, but if we had to guess, it's because it's just at this point where it's exhausting. Shame. Probably don't look the same. Having dental problems in there, losing teeth, having toothaches and stuff like that. He been in solitary confinement for like the last 3 or 4 years. Can't talk to nobody. So what God is y'all praying to that's like working in his favor?
Only reason that we're in this position right now because you and the rest of them dog ass bitches and snakes got to a juror and paid that black ass retarded ass nigga off. That's the only reason he didn't get hung the first time, long mouth ass bitch. And on top of that, that fuck nigga going down the second time, you stupid ass bitch. Say whatever the fuck you want, bitch. I know that fuck nigga going down, and we all know who did it. I don't give a fuck what get proved in or out of court, puss asshole. I know that fuck nigga did it. Nothing you do or your mammy or none of y'all slow retarded motherfuckers can convince me. Fuck nigga.
That's still, to me, if you ask me, the universe working against this man. When y'all should just sit back and just let this shit be what it's gonna be, because ultimately at the end of the day, like, if everything in this case is true, he just fucked up, man. He just fucked up. And you can't change what happened now. His best bet next time, or if at some point in the next 6, 7, 8 months, if he given an opportunity, is to take a plea. But to continue to keep fighting this and keep pushing this, they ain't got nothing. Why it's taking so long? My client is innocent. How you keep hearing track this? Man, y'all can miss the masses with that shit, because that shit then been like got old to the public. It's too much shit out here now, and it's too much crazy shit that y'all constantly still doing. It's just a lot.
The thing y'all got to remember, these people came to Vero the next day. I spoke with Melly and Cortland on a FaceTime. Cortland is convicted right now, and he's the one that spreaded that fake ass drive-by story. Jamie went along with it. Why she ain't speaking on that? What happened to the drive-by? What happened till somebody came up beside him and shot these guys and all this, that, and other? Why don't you tell them the story when I was on my way to the hospital? You told me to tell the people and the police and the media that Melly wasn't even there. That was the beginning of a red flag, you dick sucker.
But in closing, man, you know, this, like I say, this just a lot, man. But that just how I feel. Like, the closer we get to trial, the worse it's gonna get. And doing a lot of this stuff that she just did in this interview ain't doing nothing but causing more confusion. And I don't know if she realized it or not, but your tone show a sign of no remorse as well. Your tone. Your tone shows a sign of no remorse. The way that you come off. And that's one of the parts that kind of like bother me too, that get to me the most, because I don't even think you understand, even though you want your son to come home, your son is still alive, barely holding on, but he's still holding on. You got two people who real deal lost their kids because your son might have blowed their brains out. You shouldn't be opening your mouth speaking on nothing right now. But you see how Juvie's father said somewhat similar to the stuff that I said.
Okay, here go the fake shit again. Now she trying to make it seem like, oh, he's so innocent that they didn't even have a warrant for his arrest. He turned himself in. That is a fucking lie. The detective had called me before he was even arrested, told me that they was putting out warrants for his arrest. They went to Texas and arrested Jay Green by mistake. When they went to grab Melly, they grabbed Jay Green. So Melly knew then that they was looking for him. What it was gonna do? Hide and run? You dumb lying ass bitch. That bitch was going down. He ain't had no choice but to turn himself in. Bitch, the warrants was already printed up. Dumb lying motherfucker. See, these people are fucking snakes, and this why I be hating this pussy ass hoe, man, because she just lied. I don't give a fuck what she do, but when you ain't gonna lie on my motherfucking son about the situation, bitch, I'm gonna speak up every time.
He a little more aggressive than I am in the situation, which he got every right, because shit, I'm just an outsider looking in, using my common sense, and I've been following this case for a while now, but this lady wild for this. So you can't just fault, people when their emotions and stuff get high and they get angry, they get upset, they just fly off the handle, because there's too much evidence out here for you to be trying to spin a narrative that's not working.
Y'all was taking care of what family? Juvie family? Bitch, I ain't never received a dime from you stinking ass motherfuckers. Never asked y'all for a dime. What y'all was doing is trying to come down there and pay people off. Trying to give them money for this, money for that. But I wasn't going, bitch. I wasn't po. I ain't need shit from you then. I ain't need shit from you now, bitch. You already know all I do is get money, motherfucker. Shit, since you know me with your baby mama Judah. My baby mama Judah. Bitch, I was getting money then, way back in 99, 2000. Even when you had me driving you to Fort Pierce. Way back in Disney World when we was going with DJ Jason. Bitch, I was toting fire. Damn. And I'm here to tell y'all once again, Melly did that shit, man. Melly killed Chris. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I've been saying that shit from day one. I ain't gonna never change. Melly did that shit, and I want him to get prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I want him to face the death penalty. I want to see that needle go in his arm. I want to see that bitch jerking and slobbing and foam coming out his mouth. Fuck him. But this bitch is steady spraying these false-ass lies. I'm trying to tell you. And you don't know why you being sued. You being sued because, bitch, you was part of the cover-up. That's why. I know. John Phillips know, we all know you's a fucking dirtbag, and you're gonna do anything to protect that little demon. And I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that he never see the light of day and that he's burned in hell. Talking about you prayed with him. Prayed to who? Dummy? God ain't blessing that shit.
I feel like that interview was crazy. That was a crazy interview, and it didn't serve no purpose. It didn't serve no justice. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that. If you stayed to the end, I appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. I said all I need to say in the video, and you saw what Spoon had to say, Juvie's father. Ain't really much you can say, man. We done seen how this thing done played out this whole entire time for like the last 7, 8 years. We've been sitting back watching it, and as more layers peel back, as people get older, as time changes, it's hard to just walk around and try to spin this narrative and feed people these same lies, this same bullshit. People, the fans ain't kids no more. People mature now. People have actually had time to comprehend and dialogue and sit down and actually analyze this shit. And you calling a spade if you on the side of right, you using common sense. Like I've been saying my whole series, y'all check out my series, using common sense, man. Shit, the writing is on the wall. I can't necessarily say that this man did this because he haven't been found guilty in the court of law yet. The last trial ended in a mistrial. But if we using common sense, if we going off what's been documented in court, all the evidence that's been put out there to the public, this stuff look crazy. And it look like Melly might be guilty. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. I just had to tap in on this and see, give my take on it because I've been doing a lot of videos on the Melly stuff. And yeah, y'all be easy.